Not everyone can afford to buy the Ultra or the Pro phones, which is why we have the iPhone 15/15 Plus going up against the Galaxy S23/S23 Plus. And well, surprise, surprise, this is not a clean sweep for Samsung as before, because Apple has done one big key change that no one saw it coming, and it could just be exactly what some people might be looking for in this price range, something that wasn't possible before. As always, we're going to start with the pricing and value. So this is where Samsung wins pretty easily, because you actually get a handsome discount of $100 on both S23 and S23 Plus. So that's $100 cheaper than the price for the iPhone 15 and the 15 Plus. So right off the bat, Samsung has made a pretty healthy key pricing difference compared to the new iPhones. In terms of design and colors, both have wonderful options and both are beautifully premium looking phones. Hands down, one of the best looking phones in this price range. Again, it's going to come down to personal preference, which one you prefer in terms of the look. Speaking of the looks, if you look closer, you can clearly see that Samsung still offers more lenses, more cameras on the back than the iPhone 15/15 Plus. So you still essentially get more of a complete camera experience. Well, that is visibly true, but somehow Apple has done the genius move. The iPhone 15 and 15 Plus gets essentially the same main camera, the same main 48 megapixel camera as the $1,200 iPhone 15 Pro Max. Imagine if Samsung offered the same 200 megapixel main camera sensor on all of its flagship, which is something they don't do, and well, that is exactly what Apple has done this year. So if you're someone who always wanted to have Apple's best camera but you never had that amount of money in your pocket, now you can have that at $800 price point. So comparing Apple's 48 megapixel Pro sensor to S23's 50 MP ISO GN5, which we have seen in other cheaper smartphones than S23, like some of the phones from Vivo, it's pretty obvious that Apple is going to edge out Samsung because, like I said, this is their Pro/Ultra level sensor. And because of this, we get the big surprise number 2, and that is a 2x zoom option. With the 2x zoom option, you get 2x portrait mode, and I can tell you, after using this on my iPhone 14 Pro Max on various trips, this 2x crop of this 48 megapixel resolution is almost optical quality. It's probably one of the best digital zoom in the industry. So while Samsung has an actual 3x optical zoom on the S23, I think Apple is taking care of this difference just fine while offering a Pro Ultra level main camera sensor. Especially at this price, it is definitely a big surprise move by Apple. Now this also translates to video performance as well. I think overall they're pretty close, but Apple, for me, in my personal experience, even when we are talking about Ultras and Pros, I have seen more of a consistent video performance on iPhone side, although Samsung is pretty close as well. With all of that said, there is a big catch. When it comes to display, Apple brought the dynamic island design along with a 2000 nits bright screen, which is brighter than S23 and S23 Plus, but it is a 60Hz panel, and that is something that makes the iPhone 15 and 15 Plus dead on arrival for a lot of people. 60Hz on an $800 phone in 2023 is just not acceptable in my books. People butchered Samsung in 2020 for having 60Hz on Note 20, so Apple doing this in 2023 is pretty mad. So Samsung's 120Hz refresh rate with a cleaner single hole punch design wins the display for me and probably a lot of people who prefer 120Hz. But if 120Hz does not matter to you, that is where the iPhone 15 and 15 Plus becomes a really strong option, especially for those people who want a better main camera sensor, the same $1,200 Ultra/Pro level camera sensor, provided you'll have to give up the 120Hz refresh rate. So if you can do that, the iPhone 15 and 15 Plus are actually a pretty good option in this range. You really have to decide which feature you value more. Now performance wise, I think both phones are going to be very equal. Apple A16 versus Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. I think Samsung has done a great job with the performance along with the software, and I can say the same thing about Apple with iOS 17. Plus they both offer pretty healthy longevity period. Now battery wise, with that 60Hz display, we're going to see a better better battery life experience on the iPhone 15/15 Plus, as we have seen with last year's iPhone 14 Plus. For those who can bear the torture of 60 Hz, it's like running the display on low power mode all the time. It's gonna take less power than S23's 120 Hz refresh rate, so obviously you're gonna see better battery life on the iPhone 14/14 Plus. With that being said, S23 and S23 Plus are also pretty good battery wise, with 4 to 6 hours of screen on time with 120 Hz. So if you do go for high refresh rate, you're still going to get a good battery life. And let's not forget, the USB-C on Samsung has brain cells, meaning you are getting faster charging on the S23 and S23 Plus, as well as faster data transfer speeds, something you don't get on the iPhone 15 and 15 Plus's USB-C 2.0. So there we go. As collective features, and if you consider the price that I told you in the beginning of the video, in most markets Samsung is giving a discount, so Samsung once again edges out Apple. But the Ultra/Pro level iPhone 15 main camera upgrade is noticeable and a respectable change for someone who's looking for probably the best camera performance that competes with $1,200 phones, and someone who's willing to bear the torture of 60 Hz. Then these phones are probably Apple's better solid devices this year. So depending on your priorities, you should be able to make a good decision. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. I'm happy to hear your thoughts on this. With that being said, I'll see you guys later. Peace out.